got your screens.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, March 1st, 2013. We've gone through 2 months of the year already. Yeesh. All right. Our results for the morning, we had plus 10 ticks on the Russell, we had plus 12 ticks on gold, and plus 4 ticks on the soybeans. Okay, that's how we ended the morning. We got our 2 points this morning in 36 minutes. It took us 3 trades and 36 minutes to get our 2 points this morning. Okay. There was a question here when Dwayne was just going over all that stuff about, about the past month and how we did and all that, the number of trades, all that kind of business. There were 2 things. One was the amount that we estimated for commission when Dwayne had mentioned all that, for other people, for you guys. I mean, I know how much I paid in commission, but we estimated high for everybody else. If you're thinking of the commission, we made $3,905 per contract last month, and we estimated $900 in commission on 112 trades. That brings the actual commission per contract round turn a little better than $8 a turn, and hopefully everybody has got a better rate than that. If you don't have a better rate than that, call Bert at 1-866-928-3310 if you don't have a better rate than that. But we wanted to estimate high just to be realistic, all right, even overly truthful and realistic. There was another question in here: how much lead time do you have before entering a trade? You know when the trade is coming. Okay, I do my best to tell you when we have something setting up, but you have to be ready to take the trade when the trade is setting up. Like all these trades right in here, these were soybean trades. I took this one right over here, and we knew that on the up close right here, we knew that we were going to have a trade there. So you just got to have your finger on the trigger, ready to take the trade, but you know when it's coming. Okay, and it depends on the market. Some markets are a lot faster than other markets. Okay. Yeah, John, there's another question. Is there any idea as to which market might be better, trend or before the openings? There's a bunch of markets that actually trade much better before the openings. It's when the U.S. markets open up that things start to, they almost get overwhelmed, it seems like. Let's see, things like the yen and the euro, crude oil and gold, those trade pretty well before the open. The yen and the euro trade pretty well starting at about 3 a.m. Eastern. The crude oil and gold start trading pretty well about 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern. Those are pretty good trenders before the U.S. Open at 9:30 Eastern. Okay. When was the last time I had a losing month? I don't know. I have no idea. I know the last 4 months, in each one of the last 4 months alone, just in the trades that we took in the live trading room, was more than enough to pay for the mentoring package. Okay, each individual month. Which market is better for a nervous or slow on the trigger trader? The ES is pretty good for that. Sometimes the euro would be good for that. The yen, natural gas. It depends. It really depends on the day. The Russell is pretty good for that too, because the Russell is. I'll show you the Russell from this morning. Okay, the Russell had some trades this morning, some pretty nice trades this morning, but you see them setting up pretty well ahead of time. It doesn't jump around really, really fast. Corn, Pete says corn, and the ES. I know the ES is one, but corn, I haven't traded corn in a while, Pete. Sorry about that. Soybeans is another one. But there's a few of them for you. Okay. The beans, sometimes they move really well before the opening. Let's see. Those are all the questions. All right. If you haven't taken the free trial with us, guys, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Sign up for the free trial. In the free trial, you get 5 days in our live trading room. You get access to everything that we're doing, all of our indicators. You can download the indicators. We encourage you to download the indicators, as a matter of fact. The charting platform and everything else. And if you're going to sign up for the free trial, take the free trial. Don't just sign up for it and then come back a week later and say, oh, well, I signed up for it, but I only got to go 1 day for 20 minutes. You're signing up for 10 hours when you take the free trial. You're signing up 2 hours per day, 5 business days. We send you everything as soon as you sign up. We send you everything you need to download the indicators. If you signed up right now for the free trial, within the next hour, I guarantee, within the next hour you would get an email from us, and it would have a video in it that shows you how to go out to Daniels Trading, how to download the charting platform, how to download the indicator set, and then all you have to do is send me a quick email. Actually, I think it's even in there. There's even instructions in there on how to download the layout and import the layout so your charts would look exactly like mine did Monday morning when I started the week. Okay? It's all there for you. Everything is there for you. If you're going to take the free trial, take the free trial. All right. I was going to show you, like right in here on Russell, when this trade was setting up right here on the Russell, I was saying that it's pulling back down to test the BBC. We have some bullish divergence, and you really, I think for the newer folks that are in the live trading room, the first day may be overwhelming because you're going to hear me talking about a lot of markets pretty fast most of the time. But I'm saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I'm doing the same thing and I'm saying the same thing. So, you just have to put the words with what's actually happening on the charts. Like when this was happening right here, I'm sure I said on the Russell right now we're pulling back down to test the BBC. We have bullish divergence, but there's red on the cycle, so we're going to need to close above the trend line. And I probably said it just like that. Just like that. As fast as I just said that, I probably said that. And I may have not even been looking at the Russell. I may have not had it visible for you. I may have had it like over here. And I said that. And what I'm trying to do when I say that is to bring your attention to the Russell chart if you're interested in trading the Russell. So and it would have been over here somewhere. It's 10:03. It would have been over here somewhere that I would be saying that. And then when it actually hits the BBC, I would let you know that there's red on the cycle. I'd draw the trend line for you. I'd say you need to close above the trend line. The actual entry was right over here. So 10:03:13, something like that is probably when I let you know that it was happening. And 10:04:48, so a minute and a half later, you had your opportunity to get into the trade. All right? And that's what I did right there. I got in the trade right there. I think I took 8 ticks profit on that. I think I took 8 ticks profit on that one. I missed this one here and this one. And I identified these when they were happening, but I didn't trade them. And this one. That one, if you didn't move your stop to break even, you would have stopped out on this one. I did take this short over here. All right? It went down about, 4 or 6 ticks, something like that, and then it came back and got me out at break even. But the trade setups, I don't know, we have a pretty good group of people in here, but the trade setups are always the same. We're always doing the same thing. Okay? Always doing the same thing. I know there's partners out here right now in our audience right now that are not active partners. If you were a partner a year ago, what we're doing in here now is faster, and I want to say it's probably better because we're doing the same thing on every single market on the same time frame on every single market. Whereas a year ago we had 2 markets that we traded, and we had different time frames for each market, and we had different setups for each time frame. So we wrapped it all up and got it all into one time frame, a whole bunch of markets, the same exact setup across everything. All right. All right. What is an active partner and an inactive partner? That's a good question because I've said this like a million times over the last 2 years. What you get when you become a partner is you get 3 months in our mentorship program. In the mentorship program, you get access to the weekly trading zones, the live trading room, the members area, the weekly partners meetings, the swing trades. You get access to Dwayne and I for one-on-one training. You get all that stuff for 3 months. Okay. You get the indicators for as long as you have DT Pro. You have to supply DT Pro somehow. If you have an account at Daniels Trading, you have DT Pro for free. If you don't have an account at Daniels Trading, you can get DT Pro anyway for $50 a month. You just have to pay $50 a month. You get DT Pro with all the data feeds for $50. Daniels Trading, the guys over there, Bert and Leslie, they really do their best to work with everyone, to get everyone set up. They're very patient with everyone. So, don't be afraid to call them and ask questions if you have them. After the 3 months, you still have the indicators. You still have to provide DT Pro, but you still have the indicators. You have a lifetime license to the indicators. But after the 3 months, the mentoring program will stop. Okay? Now you can continue the mentoring program for $75 a month. I've said this in the last from our inception. This is the way that it's been. Actually, right at the start, we only had 2 months in the mentoring program. We added a third. I just wanted to make that clear, put it out there on the recording. That is the way that it works. Gary, I have you on my call list, Gary. Is there any market that worked better than others to this setups? It's the same thing all the time. So, it's always the same. Did you evolve the time frames for simplicity for the new partner, but really you have better times that you use yourself? Just wondering. Nope, I trade what you see. That's the way I do it. All right. I like the 4-tick range. It's the same risk as well. Every single trade has the same number of ticks risk, not the same dollar amount, but the same number of ticks risk. And I just like the simplicity of it all. I can sit here in the 2 hours in the morning, and if I were just sitting here trading in the morning, I'm sure I could probably place 20 trades a day in that 2 hour time frame. And I don't think, I'm quite certain that on any given day, if I traded long enough, I can make the 2 points that I want to make. Okay. Most days I make it pretty quick. I make it pretty early. Some days it takes me longer. A couple days I didn't make it in the first 2 hours. I did end up making it on those days, but just not in the first 2 hours. I made it in 2.5 hours. The opportunity is here for everyone who wants to take it. All right. Sorry. Got off topic here. Let's get back to the trading. All right. I didn't make any money on crude oil today, which is really odd. Normally I make money on crude oil every day. But I did take a couple trades. You can see them in there, the yellow arrows. I got short here. It pulled back up, tested the BBC, and gave a down close. I shorted right there. Once it started trading down below the MA1, we had one bar closed down, and it started trading below the MA1. I moved my stop to break even. It came back and took me out of break even. Okay. I didn't take that trade. I didn't take that trade. I did take one right over here. Again, when it closed up above the MA1 is a blue and red line. I moved my stop to break even, and it came back and got me out at break even again. Those are the 2 trades I took on crude oil today. Now, there were a bunch more trades, and I let everybody know when these trades were setting up. I just didn't take them myself. Okay, there was a long trade right here that moved up. I don't know how many ticks that is. 95 up to 102, moved up 7 ticks. There was a short trade right here that I let everybody know about. That moved down. Another one right here. There was some really nice ones toward the end of the morning session that I let everybody know about. This one right here at 90.89. That dropped 19 ticks, I believe. Actually, even more than that. It dropped 24 ticks. 23 ticks. That's a $230 gain right there per contract. It was followed up by another one, and this was right after the end of the morning session, but it was followed up by another one that went down really well, and another one, and another one, and then it turned around. And you guys are probably saying, well, how do I know when to stop taking them? Well, take the free trial and you'll find out all about it. But in a nutshell, you didn't have any divergence down here, and everything started to move up. Okay, so when you got everything moving up and you lost your divergence, then you're looking in the other direction. Now you have bullish divergence right here. All right, if we go back to that picture that I showed a little while ago, I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast, I know. But if we go back to the picture that I showed a little while ago, you have your bullish cross, and the space, and the pullback and test of the BBC with the bullish divergence and a blue cycle in the slingshot. So the entry is right there, okay? Right there. Everything changed directions. Right in here, let me bring the other picture up and I'll show you this one. All right. Here it is. I'll answer that question in just a minute. Okay, Kevin. Right here, you had price attempting to pull back down to the BBC, but there was so much momentum it pulled it a long way away from the BBC. So on the attempt to pull it back, it was deep enough that it changed the color of the cycle. And okay, I'm on it. It was deep enough that it changed the color of the cycle, and you got to close up above the trend line. Okay, When you get that close above the trend line right there, that's telling you that the trend is going to continue, and you should anticipate that the green line is going to work its way into the cycle. So the entry is on the up close right there. All right, that's it. That's it. Okay, I mean that wasn't even in the morning session. So I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump here. I'm not going to show any more pictures. Okay, because it's the same across every single market. All right, I've already shown you the Russell. I'll show you gold. I took a few trades on gold this morning. And then I think I'm going to wrap it up quickly here because I know we have a couple things we've got to take care of. I thought I took 2 trades on gold. Anyway, we had right in here, it's the same exact thing across every single market. All right, you're looking at the same thing on every market. In this particular case right here on the gold, we had the bearish cross, price came up, attempted to test the BBC, but it didn't. It gave a down close below that trend line, and I jumped in it and took profit on it. Okay, how many ticks did I get on gold? 12 ticks. So that was a 10-tick trade on gold. I know I had another one. My first trade of the morning was right here, 2 ticks. I knew that. I took 2 ticks profit on this one and 10 ticks profit on this one over here. But the same thing's happening over and over and over and over again. Okay? That's gold. Now the NQ had a bunch of opportunities. I mean, the same thing. I know I'm just doing the same thing again and again and again. Okay? Yeah, and there were black line trades in there too, but that's just partner stuff, the black line stuff. So I'm not going to go into detail on that. I mean, even right here, there's a trade right here on this down close right here, this red bar, that down close, that was a shorting opportunity, 47.50, and you can see it's working out. Watch for the green line now to work its way down into the cycle. That's what you're looking for. It should get all the way down here to dynamic support, and it probably should go through it. All right, so that's what you'd be looking for. The same stuff over here on natural gas. You can see it again and again and again. The same thing happening over and over and over again. Okay. Right here would be the down close, looking for it to move down. This one actually didn't have a down close below the trend line until right over here, so the down close was there, looking for it to move down. That was natural gas. The euro had a couple of trades in there this morning. A couple of losing trades right there, but winning trades right over here. And I'll show you the losing trades too, just to be right here, totally transparent. You had a bullish cross, space, test of the BBC, up close, and the thing just reversed. Over here, it didn't actually lose here. You had a test of the BBC with a down close. You could have gotten back the loss from this one, for the most part, I think. 77 down to 70, almost all of the loss from that one. It would have been an 8-tick stop. All right, and that is pretty much it. I'll show you the ES, okay, because the ES had some trades this morning too. Here on the ES, there was one losing trade. It started out with a losing trade right here. Okay, it only gave about a point, and then it came back. It moved up here, came down, attempted to test the BBC, but it didn't. It gave an up close with bullish divergence, and it moved up. All right, and it did it again there. And this one would have been a losing trade, a winning trade, a winning trade, and it's going into the weekly trading zone. So nothing in there. A winning trade right here on the long side. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's the same thing again and again and again and again. The question was, so it must be used by Daniel's Trading. Can I use NinjaTrader? You can trade on NinjaTrader. You can trade on whatever you want to trade on, but the charts are exclusive to Daniel's Trading. They have to be on DT Pro. Okay, so you have to get DT Pro somehow. Okay. That's funny. Everybody says that about the pictures, and it just so happens that right now I have pictures. I sent a picture to Dwayne yesterday. Here, I'll show one here quickly, and then Dwayne's going to take the charts back anyway. There's my daughter. There's me. And there's my son. We're not actually standing in the water. We're at the edge of the water. Okay. With that, I'm going to...
in the live room this morning, do you swim with your clothes on?
Yeah, no, we're not actually in the water. I got to change the resolution of the picture because we're actually standing at the edge of the water. But that's me and the kids.
Have you been working out?
No, that's just me. That's just normal me. Got to see me when I turn around. All right, with that, I'm going to stop the recording here, guys. If anybody has any questions, go to you can email us at support@cfrn.net. All right, if you haven't taken the free trial, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. And that's it. If you have any questions about setting things up once you go and take the free trial, call 866-928-3310. You'll be talking to Bert or Leslie. All right, with that, recording is